welcome back to Eurovision 365, wherever you're watching this from. It's great to have you here. Welcome. I am broadcasting live, of course, across Eurovision 365 YouTube channel and Eurovision 365 debate Facebook group page. As I say, you're very welcome. And the reason I am here this Wednesday evening is, of course, we now have the running order for semi-final 1 and semi-final 2. And I have to say, I had a very quick look there at the semi-final running order just before, and there's a few surprises, aren't there? I'm going to get into that very shortly. But before that, make sure wherever you're watching this from to let me know your thoughts as well. What your thoughts are on if your country is taking part at the semi-finals. Let me know your thoughts on where it's been drawn and the chances. Do you think the chances have improved or decreased as a result of the draw? Be sure to keep involved and share your thoughts as well. So semi-final 1, semi-final 2 is now. We know now what it's going to be like, and let us have a little look at the draw, the running order as it is. So here it is. So there's semi-final 1 and semi-final 2, of course. And we look at semi-final 2 first of all. Sorry, semi-final 1 first of all. And what's your thoughts on it? Okay, so semi-final 1. You can see there that Norway is opening the show, so it is. And it's always an honor, isn't it? It's always a special honor, I think, to open the contest. And of course, there's usually a banger to start off with the semi-finals, and because we've had a year, or the guts of a year, between Eurovision 2022 and Eurovision 2023, the producers, typically speaking, start the contest off with an up-tempo song, and this year is no exception. So Norway are opening the semi-final, then followed by Malta, and then Serbia, obviously Latvia then in 4th, Portugal 5th, Ireland in 6th, Croatia 7th, Switzerland in 8th, Israel 9, Moldova 10, Sweden in 11, Azerbaijan 12, Czech Republic in 13, Netherlands in 14, and Finland will close the first semi-final of the Tuesday evening. How exciting is that? Yeah, so just in contrast, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but I posted a video a couple of days ago, my prediction for semi-final 1, and I'm just going to have a look here to see how close or how far away I was. I think I was pretty far away, but this was my prediction for semi-final 1, and that's a couple of days ago. So I had Ireland opening the semi-final, and Croatia in 2nd, Latvia 3rd, and Norway 4th, Malta 5th, Portugal 6th, Serbia 7th, 8th would be Switzerland, 9 Czech Republic, Netherlands 10, Finland 11, Sweden 12, 13 Moldova, Azerbaijan 14, and Israel for me would have been closing the show. So there's a bit of a difference there, a little bit of a difference, but I think it was always going to be hard, wasn't it, to predict how it was going to go. The surprises for me, I suppose, are Malta in at number 2. I think that's quite unfair for Malta, and I think Latvia don't have the best draw either. Who else doesn't have a good draw? I would say, as some people, I've noticed a few people were suggesting that Azerbaijan had a good draw because, of course, they're a very slow tempo song, sort of soft rock song coming after a high amount of up tempo songs or different styles of songs. So maybe they will stand out, and that might be a positive thing for them. Netherlands, I think, have a really good draw actually as well, coming where they are there in 14, and Finland in closing this show at 15. So, as I said, please do get involved. I want you to get involved as well and let me know your thoughts. So, what have we got here so far? Nathan, as always, you're very welcome here to the channel, a friend of the channel. And what are you saying? Good draw for Norway, Ireland, Sweden, and Finland. Bad draw for Malta, Israel, and Azerbaijan is defo out. Okay, so you're kind of saying, you're kind of going with the opposite of what some people are saying in terms of Azerbaijan coming at a really good spot, just after a few bangers, but time will tell, of course. Bad draw for Israel. That's really interesting. You say that Israel, yeah, song 9, where they're at is. I don't know. Does anybody know where the commercial breaks is? I was working, so I didn't get a chance to see the live draw. So, is commercial breaks after song 6 and after 11 in semi-final 1, or are they somewhere else? I think that is going to be key as well to the how things go. Adam, very welcome to the channel again. You're all very welcome, of course, but thanks for commenting. What you're saying is, looks like both yours and my predictions for the opening song and the first sample was off. Yeah, the mark as neither Malta or Ireland was chosen in the end. Do you know what's really, and this is easy for me to say now, isn't it? In hindsight is a great thing, but when I was making that prediction, I actually had suggested in my head, I thought Norway might be a good song to start off with. But you know what stopped me from saying Norway? I tell you this now, what stopped me from saying Norway is semi-final 2, semi-final 1 from last year. I'm going to just bring it up to remind us. There you can see there. Last year, Albania opened the first semi-final of Eurovision 2022, and I don't think it's that too dissimilar to Alessandra. I know it's a very different kind of song, you know, in terms of the what it's about, etc. But I don't think it's necessarily a very different song, and for that reason, I think that it's not the best draw for Norway to start off the show. Malta, I think, are going to have a lot of trouble qualifying from that, I believe. I'm just sort of going, again, I'm going to go back to the semi-final 1 from last year, and just to see who qualified. Now, there was 17 songs taking part last year at semi-final 2. It just shows you how much of a difference it is this year with those countries not being there. But the first country to qualify from semi-final 1 last year was Lithuania, and then that was song 3, song 4, song 6, which was Ukraine, song 8, song 9, song 10, song 14, song 15, song 16, and song 17. Yeah, so mostly towards the second half of the semi-final, countries qualified and seemed to qualify with ease. So yeah, I was just checking there. Let's see. Chris, thank you so much for commenting. And keep your comments coming. Of course, I'm broadcasting live here across Eurovision YouTube page, YouTube channel rather, and the Facebook group Eurovision 365 debate. So Chris is saying great draw for both of the rock acts closing out each semi. I think that's a good point to make. Okay. Czech Republic did very well last year, going last in the semi-final. They did indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Nathan, you said anyone could qualify, and this year the numbers are very low. The numbers are very low indeed, but I don't know that anyone, I don't know that anyone can qualify. But speaking of that, a bit of a spoiler alert, because I wasn't going to announce it till later on in this chat, this reaction. But I will be at the weekend. I will be doing another live, because it was suggested to me by Adam here on the channel, in terms of I'm going to make a prediction, a semi-final prediction of who is going to qualify. So that's going to be live here on the weekend. So hopefully you can join me for that. So back to then, and keep your comments coming, and I will respond to them as quickly as I can. So I'll be moving on to semi-final 2 very, very shortly to have a look at that. But in terms of semi-final 1, I think, as I said, it's good news, I would say, for Serbia, Portugal, Ireland. I think Ireland would be quite pleased with that draw, especially if that happens just before a commercial break. Croatia probably having the best draw in the world. For me, I would have had them on song number 2, song number 3, perhaps. Israel, I think Israel's going to stand out no matter what, because there's been so much money that's been allocated and poured into that performer Noah Kirel, and rightly so, and I think that's going to stand out. Moldova have a good draw. Sweden, I'm guessing that the commercial break is going to come after song 11, because, or maybe after song 10 actually, because I do know that it takes longer to assemble her staging than it does to disassemble it. Also, I think Czech Republic have a decent draw, Netherlands and Finland. So I think most songs in the second half of the semi-final, for me, I would say would qualify, judging by where they're drawn at. Okay, let's turn my attention now to song semi-final 2. And opening semi-final 2, we have Denmark. Denmark opens, and then we have Armenia at song 2. I'm very surprised at that. Now I have to say, I'm very surprised at Armenia getting that draw. Romania 3rd, Estonia 4th, Belgium 5, Cyprus 6, Iceland 7, Greece 8, Poland 9, Slovenia 10, Georgia 11, San Marino 12, Austria 13, Albania 14, Lithuania 15, and Australia 16. I think immediately the songs that stand out for me as probably having a really good chance because of this draw would be Australia for sure. Quite possibly Austria. Yeah, I would say Austria as well. And Belgium, actually, I think they have a good draw. And I would also say that I think Poland actually have a decent draw, as do Slovenia. I think, yeah. In my own prediction, I had Belgium opening the show. I thought that would have been a good opener. And I had Austria closing the show. So it just shows you, doesn't it? These predictions don't account for much at the end of the day. Turning now, let me see, I'm going to turn now to semi-final 2 from last year. So just reminding us of what happened last year at semi-final 2. You can see for yourself there. So in last year's semi-final 2, Finland opened the show, it qualified. Serbia qualified song 3. So these are the qualifiers from last year. There was 18 songs taking part last year, and song 1 qualified, song 3 qualified, song 4 qualified, song 8 qualified, song 12 qualified, song 13 qualified, song 14 qualified, song 16 qualified, song 17 qualified, song 18 qualified. So again, very, very heavy there on the second half for qualifications. So will the same thing happen this time around? Well, if you look at the semi-finals, semi-final 2 there, the second half is as quite strong as semi-final 2, and in fact the semi-final 1, the second half is very, very strong too. And you know what I've just thought of here and now, as I've been looking at that running order, what I have really come to realize is a song in the first half of the semi-final actually may have an advantage, a really good advantage, because there are so many songs in the second half that are kind of going to be very strong. But if you have a decent enough song in the first half, I think you are likely to do well. Now, as I've been off screen and looking at the running order, you all have been getting involved. Well, I'm going to get through these comments here. So I'll go back to the start. Before I do that, you're very welcome here to this live reaction video to the semi-final running orders, and I'm broadcasting live across YouTube channel Eurovision 365 and the Facebook group Eurovision 365 debate. Leon, you got 7 out of 15 correct in semi-final 1. That's very well done. You don't know who's going to win, do you? Overall, you might put a bet on it. The first time that Denmark will open a semi-final, and first time Finland will close a show since 1990. Okay, yeah, 1990. Of course, "Free" was a song that finished the contest for Finland. Uh, have the live stream on Saturday night. We could enjoy our pizza. All right, Nathan. I don't know if it's going to be Saturday night or Sunday night, but we'll be over the weekend for sure. I know, poor Malta. I actually feel sorry for Malta because I did actually think that Malta would have been a good opener because it's got a real fun vibe to it, and like I understand the reason that the producers have elected to place Alessandra and Norway in opening the semi-final because, as I said at the start, there's a long time between Eurovision 2022 and Eurovision 2023, so of course everyone's excited and want to get the show going off to a good start. But I thought Malta or Ireland would equally have been a good show opener, but as it is, they've gone for Norway, which is I'm not convinced that Norway is as clear cut as what other people are thinking. I know I'm at odds with a lot of people whenever I say that. Did anyone actually predict Denmark would open? Adam, do you know what, Adam? I actually didn't, and I predicted that Denmark would be song 4. So no, I predicted Belgium would open because it's kind of like a song that I think would do very, very well in England. Let's see. What are you all saying? I thought Denmark and Belgium were the obvious openers, so of course I put Belgium as my first pick and Denmark as an alternative because of course I would pick the wrong one. Yeah. Let's see. San Marino and Azerbaijan got the bot side of the draw. Yeah, I think San Marino is looking at a non-qualification again, I would say. Not just based on the draw, I've got to be honest with you. I don't think it's a brilliant song, unfortunately. Not one of my favorites. I know I actually agree with you, Neon, in terms of Armenia at song 2. I think, no, I'm very surprised. Could it be that they are so sure and assured that Brunette will qualify that they're like, well, you go song number 2. If that's the case and Noreen draws song number 2 at the final, I'm sure the producers would be happy with that, wouldn't they? No. The other thing as well, I think I'm right in saying this, and I'm sure you'll let me know if I'm not, but I think I'm right in saying that by this point, the producers know the staging concepts and they know what each country will be bringing with them to the contest. So perhaps that's indicative of the running order for this year. So I'm guessing that Denmark's not going to have an awful lot on stage. Armenia, I'm guessing, will. Romania, probably not. So maybe that's the reason. If we were to guess, if we go back to semi-final 1, actually I should put that up on screen for you again. Just bear with me. Here we are. So yeah, so if we look back again at semi-final 1, I would say the more elaborate staging is going to come from the likes of Norway, Serbia. Serbia is known for its staging. Who else? Israel, Moldova, Sweden for sure. Azerbaijan are known for their elaborate staging, but it's such a slow song. It's hard to imagine how that's going to be staged. And Finland, of course, I'm hoping he brings a boxing ring with him. Semi-final 2 then, in terms of elaborate staging, I'm guessing Armenia will have an elaborate staging. They usually do. Who else? Cyprus, they had a huge shell last year, didn't they? That we couldn't see the performer where we were sat at. Who else? Greece, they usually have a lot of staging, elaborate staging, I should say. Austria is probably going to be a lot of fun. I actually would have had Austria closing the second semi-final over Australia because it's such a fun song. But I do think that Austria have an excellent draw in semi-final 2, coming as they do after San Marino and Georgia and Slovenia actually And Poland have a decent enough draw, I would have thought as well. So yeah, so let's see what are all people saying. As I said before, I look back at the comments here again. You're very welcome here to this live broadcast where I'm reacting to the running order of Eurovision 2023 semi-final 1 and semi-final 2. Isn't it amazing that it doesn't seem very long ago from we gathered here on this one of the first lives of 2023 for me, where I was broadcasting live at the allocation draw. That was back on the 31st of January, where we gathered here on the channel. It doesn't seem very long since then, and now we're talking about where those songs are actually going to be placed at. So let's see. Are we saying Norway is in danger of not qualifying? Well, I'm saying Norway is in danger of not qualifying. I'm not sure that anybody else is saying that. I think I'm at odds with most people. But I do think that because obviously, as I said at the start, with Albania last year, with Ronella, I don't think Ronella and Alessandra are that too dissimilar in terms of performance. And vocally, I'm not talking about the song, I'm talking about vocally. And the other thing as well, and I hate to say this, and I'm not saying this to cause offence, but autotune was used at MGP in Norway, so I'm not sure that Alessandra was one of those who elected to use autotune, but that was certainly something that they could do. But you can't do that at Eurovision, and I don't know, it's a bit shirty for me when I hear it. And I know it's song. For me, it's more 50-50 than assured with Norway. I've got to be honest with you. And, some people I know are like have Norway as one of the ones to win, but I'm not so sure. Adam, semi 2 has the biggest surprises for me. Denmark opening, yeah, and Armenia in the second slot of death. I do think that the second spot is worse in the grand final rather than the semi-final. But if I quickly look at last year, yeah, both Latvia in semi-final 1 last year and Israel in semi-final 2 last year both failed to qualify, but then they're very different songs. They weren't that strong. You know, I love Cities Any, but again, it wasn't that strong, unfortunately. Interestingly, song 3 from both semi-finals last year qualified. Interestingly again, song 4 from both semi-finals qualified last year, as did song 8. Is anybody making a note of this? I should be. So song 1 from both semi-finals qualified last year. Sorry, beg your pardon. Song 3 and song 4 both qualified from semi-final 2 last year, as did song 6 in semi-final 1 was Ukraine last year, so they were always qualifying. But song 8 from both semi-finals qualified last year. Let's see. Song 10 qualified from semi-final 1, but not semi-final 2. Song 13 both qualified last year from semi-final 1 and 2, as did song 14, as did song 16, and as did song 17. So yeah, so 3, 4, 8. Yeah, 3, 4, 8. So here we got 3, 4, and 8. Let's have a quick look here at the semi-final draw. So 3, 4, and 8. So that, by this reckoning from 2022, that would suggest that Serbia from semi-1 and Latvia from semi-1 will qualify, as would Romania and Estonia from semi-final 2. 8 would have Switzerland in semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 qualifying, and the last 3 or 4 from both semi-finals qualifying. That, you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if Albania qualified, I've got to be honest with you. But semi-final 2, I think most people would agree with me that semi-final 2 is the weaker. So that's one, I think, because it's a weaker semi-final, I think that's one that may produce the most surprises. Let's see. Keep your comments coming. I'm not sure that everyone is concerned first place in semi-1 is bad. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think that I think Denmark will qualify from semi-final 2, and I'm 50-50 with Norway, but I would guess that they would qualify. It's just not for me, unfortunately. Let's see, I'm still reading your comments here. Okay, so Chris, you're saying, I think Norway has suffered a little bit by the fact all our quality songs have been released afterwards, and obviously some recency bias can be involved. Absolutely agree with that. We can get a bit fatigued of songs, can't we, if we hear them too soon? Except for Tivorci in my case, because I love that song. That's a really good factor. Song 6 from semi-final 1 last year won, of course. Yeah. Song 6 this year is, of course, Ireland from semi-final 1. Yeah. Confidence is key. Let's see. Okay, so Neon, you figured Finland would close, not because it's a banger, but because they want to give people shorter time to decide to vote for it. Do you think? I think it is because it's a banger, but it's great. So I know I'm lagging behind some of these questions here, so forgive me. But thanks so much for your comment and your question. What do you think of Portugal in between Latvia and Ireland? Two sort of indie rock songs in English. I think it's a perfect draw for Portugal. I think it stands out. I think Adam's just echoing what I'm about to say. I think Portugal stands out. Latvia might be worried though. Yeah, I would agree with that. I really like that Latvian song. I really do. But I guess it's a bit too Marmite for people. I think it's one of those that you either really like or you either really don't like. For me, I really do like it, but I know a lot of people don't. But then the thing that we have to remember is the voting that's going to happen as well, and and there's no juries involved in semi-final 1, so you never know. You still think it's Rest in Peace Ireland? Yeah, it could be Rest in Peace Ireland, to be honest with you. It could be. Time will tell, of course, but there's always at least one, isn't there? Can I ask at this moment now, and please be honest, and I'm going to be honest as well, did anyone predict that Iceland would qualify from semi-final 1 last year? Because I certainly didn't. I definitely didn't predict that Iceland would qualify, and I was like, what? Congratulations to the sister, of course, when they did, but I did not think that they would qualify last year. There were some surprises last year. A lot of people thought Albania was a surefire favourite to win the contest or do really well the contest, never mind qualify, but of course it didn't qualify. So anything is possible, and that's what's so great about it. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, so you're all kind of saying the same as me. Everyone was surprised, and that's the reason, and that's what I love about the semi-finals. I love that, and the Eurovision itself, because there is always so many surprises, isn't there? Whenever we get to the end, and the truth comes out about who's voted where. Let's see. Semi-final 2 is definitely more wide open. Just like I was saying, it's very wide open. I don't think there's anything that would surprise me from semi-final 2. I think the only thing that would surprise me from semi-final 2 would be if Austria didn't qualify. But I would imagine that they will. I think they're a bit lower down in the betting odds, and I think that's because of last year. Because, of course, a lot of us, including me, had Austria in the top 5. I think I had Austria in my top 3 last year. Actually, I have Austria 4 this year. Oh dear. But anyway, I had Austria in my top 3 last year. That was based very much on the preview video, and of course we all know what happened. Poor Pia Maria and Lumix, and I think a lot of people are worried that could happen Austria again. If San Marino won their semi-final, that would have been a bit surprising to me. That would be surprising. I would imagine the odds would be very long on that, but you never know. You never know. By the way, I just want to say it's great having you all here joining me for this reaction to the semi-final running order. I had intended to make a video for semi-final 2, my prediction. As it happens, I didn't need to because it's already out. But I did make a video, a very long video actually as well, where I created my prediction for semi-final one. But certainly, it's great having you all here. So please do continue to let me know your thoughts. Let's see. I think Ireland will be the surprise qualifier this year. Wed Youth will smash their performance out of the park, and they have a lot of support. You know, actually, I'm going to agree with a lot of what you're saying there, Nathan, and I'll tell you the reason for that. I think that Wild Youth are more accustomed to and more used to performing in an arena environment, and I think that's where they excel and that's where they come alive. I know, like, I'm following them on Instagram, and they're beginning their tour really of, you know, prior to the contest, and I know they are going to most of the pre-parties. They're going to Barcelona this weekend, they're going to Amsterdam, they're going to Madrid. I'm not sure if they're going to Israel, Colin. They may be, but they're doing as much as they can to promote them. And of course, they're going to the Eurobash, the OK Eurobash in Dublin, which might be worth going to actually, just to see them. You know, that might be a good night out. Actually, I might think about that myself. So hey to you. Hey, that's done, and that hey is svensk. Hey, hur mår du idag? Jag mår bra, tack. But the only thing is, because you're commenting on Facebook, I can't see your name. So if you're able to write your name at the end of your comment or at the beginning of the comment, so at least I know who I'm chatting to. But jag mår bra, tack. Och du? I'm good, thanks. How are you? So Adam, you said you're definitely will be voting for Austria and Estonia in the second semi-final. Hope they both qualify easily. Well, in terms of the second semi-final, let's have another quick look. So second semi-final, I would say Estonia have a really good draw actually. As I said last year, both Song 3 and 4 qualified from both semi-finals, so I would say Estonia have a good song, and they're going right before Belgium. I do still think that Belgium has a decent draw. Who I think doesn't have a great draw, excuse me, is definitely San Marino. I would say they have the worst draw in semi-final 2. Romania have a really awful draw as well. Poland might not have the best draw. Slovenia, I'd say, have a decent draw. Yeah, moving over to semi-final 1. The best draw again for me is, well, Sweden have a great draw. And I actually think Azerbaijan have a great draw now when I'm looking at it more. I do think Azerbaijan have a great draw. But I'm just looking here, and I would say 1, 2, 3. I would say most of those in the second half of semi-final 1 are going to qualify. Israel, Moldova, Sweden, Azerbaijan, Netherlands, Finland. You'll notice I've taken out Czechia there, but that's 6. And if Czechia were to qualify, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that leaves 3 from the first half. So who would those 3 be? I'm not going to confirm anything now because that's going to ruin the whole live video at the weekend. But I would say probably Portugal, Serbia. Oh, that leaves one more spot then. Whoa, okay. Yeah, and semi-final 2, I would say it's too wide open really to make any predictions there. But everything changes whenever we see the rehearsals and when we see the live performances and how people actually sound when they are singing. That is key. Oh, Eric. Hey, Eric. Hur mår du idag? They put Poland as early as possible. I find that so funny. Okay. Hey. Since Ireland and the UK are neighbours, do you think Ireland could benefit from a strong audience reaction from a British arena? I would say Liverpool. Like, there's one thing Ireland and UK being neighbours, but the thing about Liverpool, for anyone who lives outside of here, Liverpool is often cited as the most Irish city outside of Ireland. There's a lot of immigration to Liverpool and Manchester, and typically around the northern part and London part of England back in the day. And there's a huge amount of Irish solidarity in Liverpool. That goes both ways actually. And I think whatever the song was going to be, they were always going to have reaction. And actually, it's very telling when it came to the allocation draw. As soon as Ireland were drawn out of the pot, for the allocation draw, there was a huge roar of approval. So I think that would be echoed very much so in the arena, and that should be a good benefit to Wild Youth and Ireland. So Alessandra, you're keeping your fingers crossed, Adam. Yeah, time will tell, of course, won't it? So as I said, I will be broadcasting live again over the weekend. Nathan wants to have pizza with us on Saturday, so maybe that would be the day. It'll be a Saturday or a Sunday. Maybe Saturday actually. We'll see how it's going. Yeah, so just as mentioned as well about OGA Ireland and its Wild Youth, it is rumoured that they will be going to that OGA bash in Dublin. It hasn't been confirmed as yet, but it is rumoured. So yes, so as I was saying, I will be broadcasting live over the weekend, where I will be revealing with you the 10 countries from each semi-final who I think will qualify. Now, based on my running order prediction, it might not be too accurate, but it's a bit of fun. So I hope you can join me for that as well. So yeah, let's have a quick recap one more time, shall we, on where things are at. So the honor, that's what they used to say, wasn't it, back in the day, in the Irish contest, the honor of opening the Eurovision, but the honor of opening semi-final 1 this year goes to Alessandra and Norway. The honor of closing it goes to Karja and Finland in semi-final 2. The honor of opening semi-final 2 is Denmark, and Voyager. It's Voyager. You should check out my reaction video to Australia. It's there's a lot of excitement for me anyway. Australia will be closing semi-final 2. So yeah, it's all to play for, isn't it? And I think most of us are agreeing, aren't we, that that semi-final 2 is much more open than semi-final 1. But as always, time will tell, won't it? For sure. So if I was to ask you now, you who want to comment, now that we know the running order, does it change your prediction of who will win the contest? Does that make any difference? Does the running order make any difference? As I said in my semi-final 1 running order prediction video there a couple of days ago, I was watching a documentary a little while ago, not very long ago, but a little while ago. I was watching a documentary from the 2021 contest, and the producer there was saying and suggesting that it doesn't matter where the song is drawn, where our country is drawn, it doesn't affect our chances of doing well. As I said in response to that, you try telling that to every country and every performer that has ever been drawn second at the grand final, and see what they say. Isn't it funny that Ukraine wasn't drawn second last year? How about that? So anyway, doesn't change things for you, Adam. Your favourite is still are Sweden, Finland and Spain. Just to mention Spain as well, just as you're chatting about Spain, across on the YouTube channel, if you haven't seen it, but across the YouTube channel, I have begun here, we at Eurovision 365 have begun a series where we're looking at the favourites to win the Eurovision Song Contest and answering the question, can they? First of all, I've covered Spain so far, and I've covered another country. Who was it? It was the UK. How did I forget that? So I've covered the UK and Spain and answered the question if they can win. And coming up later on tonight, well, from midnight, will be Armenia. And I'm answering the question: can Armenia win? And this video was actually made just prior to the reveal of the running orders. But I don't think things are going to change for Armenia. I think Brunette will qualify with ease. I hope so. Really? I did not know that. Is that how true, how accurate is that? What are they changing their staging to? I agree with you. I wouldn't change a single piece of that performance. I think do you know, actually, I tell a lie. If I was going to change anything with the performance for Blanca Paloma, it would be this. I would have her backing singers retreating somewhat so that they aren't so much in focus, because I think this is who they remind me of. They remind me of Alvin and Ahez last year, where my eyes were sort of going away from Alvin. He's very engaging performer, which I think Blanca is a very engaging performer as well. And I think his backing singers detracted from the song, and there's a potential for Blanca's backing singers to detract from the song as well. It probably, like I said, it would probably sort of reverse them out a little bit. We withdraw them a little bit from the stage somewhat. But certainly in terms of Blanca's performance, you know, with those threads and all, and I wouldn't change a millimeter of that. I would agree with you, Adam, 100%. Okay, so I think it's fair to say that, you know, from what Spain are saying, it's more about elevating the staging. So maybe like, oh, do you know what? Maybe like Chanel, she elevated her staging a little bit. The dance was very similar, I suppose. It's almost the same as her performance at the Benidorm Fest, but it was elevated somewhat. The music as well, if you remember, it was elevated somewhat as well. There's much more of like a disco-y, up-tempo beat with the horns, etc. as well. So I'm guessing that Spain will elevate it in a real positive way. I'm hoping RTVE are not going to mess around. And as they said, as Inez, I think, said at the Benidorm Fest, she says, last year we got bronze, this year we are going for gold. So I believe them when they say that. Will Lorraine keep the LED screen above her for the live performance of Liverpool? I think the problem is, I'm not so sure the problem is transporting the screen, the stage. I think the problem is the weight of it, because it's almost 2 ton. If you think about that, 2 tons, 2 tons are heavy. I mean, there's lorries that are 2 ton, isn't there? You know, is there lorries that are 2 ton? There's cars that are 2 ton, isn't there? So, or cars, as you might say. I say cars because I'm from Northern Ireland. But yeah, so I think it's the weight rather than the transport, because obviously you've got that roof, and the M&S Arena is 1.8. Yeah, it's almost 2 tons. Yeah, it's the M&S Arena is much smaller than the arena at Sweden. In Sweden, any of the arenas probably that were used in Melodifestivalen. So I would imagine something's going to happen or have to happen, and that would be a worry for Lorraine, because I think without that screen, it's a very ordinary song. If I'm being honest, very ordinary song. I mean, I love her, and I love the amount of emotion that she pours into the song. It's highly emotive and it's highly engaging. She's of course a very engaging performer, but song wise it's quite ordinary for me. But yeah, so there we have it. We have at last, we're moving ever so swiftly on to the Eurovision semi-finals now, aren't we? We're at the 22nd of March. Neon. You'll be like Lika Intel Tail. I think I've got it right. Oh yeah, I'm more worried about Lorraine Smoke Machine. That was really unlike SVT to do something like that. Maybe it was it the Brewers was it Marcus? Marcus and Martinez, maybe they were at Tac. I think they probably sabotaged it. Like, we want to win. Or Mariette, maybe she was like, screw this, I want to sabotage this, I want to try and win. Yeah, it made me laugh. It looked like she was performing in Jupiter at the final. Sorry, that made me laugh. But yeah. So yeah, the running order. The sleeper agents from Norway. Yeah, they've taken over. Let's have another quick look here. Let's have another quick look. One last time. It is one last time. Now we're going to have a quick look again at the running order for semi-final one. And first of all, of course, you'll know this already. So yeah, Norway opens with a bang. Queen of Kings starts the show, and Cha 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 ends it. It's interesting how they have the Nordic nations fairly scattered about that semi-final. Yeah, so I would say song 2 in semi-final 1 is screwed, unfortunately. Song 4, I don't like to say it, but I think they're going to have problems. Portugal, I think Mimi Cat was always going to qualify. I hope she's going to qualify. I think she's got a great draw, Mimi Cat, between Latvia and Ireland. I'm guessing, I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that the break is going to come either before song 6 or after it. Either way, I would hope that would be beneficial for Ireland. Croatia coming after Ireland and before Switzerland. Probably not brilliant. I'd say it's probably good for Switzerland, actually, that draw. Israel, some people saying Israel have a bad draw, but I think they do have a good one. Moldova's a good one, and pretty much all those countries in the second half have a good draw. But it's a clash of the Titans in semi-final 1, isn't it? Semi-final 2, not so much clash of the Titans, but certainly the good opener, good strong opener with Riley. I like that song a lot. Yeah, I say Romania is screwed in semi-final 2. Gustav, I think, has a good draw. As do Greece, actually. I think now looking at the draw, I think Greece is a good draw, and Georgia has a great draw. Of course, Austria and Australia have a great draw. But as we're all saying, semi-final 2 is very, very, very open. So anything can, and I'm sure will, happen in semi-final 2. Okay. Great choice to have Voyager from Australia close the second semi-final. First time they have done so, I think. Is it the first time Australia have closed the semi-final? 2015, 2016, 17. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right, Adam. Hello there to you. Many people will be surprised by Serbia's performance on bigger stage than Liverpool. I will not be surprised by it. I'm really looking forward to seeing Serbia. I love it. I absolutely love that song. I think it's going to stand out an absolute mile, and it's I think it's a bit of a dark horse, actually, Serbia this year. It's funny, it's kind of gone under the radar somewhat, but I think Luke Black should not be overlooked or discounted for being successful at the contest. Let's see. I can imagine this to be true. Kari said in an interview he wants to get Lorraine drunk so she can't sing. He was joking. I bet he wasn't. But he was being dead serious. Can you imagine Lorraine with 5 pina coladas in her? She'd be like not knowing where she's at. She will think she is in Jupiter. Service station should be elevated. Yes, I heard the funding now. Yeah. Sorry. I heard he has funding now. So yeah, it's all to play for. All to play for when it comes to these semi-finals. Anything can and anything will happen, I am sure. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up this little live broadcast now. because I want to get myself prepared for. There's a lot of content coming here on the channel. Keep an eye out on the where we're focusing on the favourites to win the Eurovision Song Contest this year, and asking, or rather answering the question, can they? There's a bit of a focus on all of those songs, so do keep an eye and an ear out for that. Also, coming up this weekend, I will be sharing with you who I predict will qualify from semi-final 1 and then semi-final 2, and I might even wear a suit, but but we'll see. But again, thanks to all for being here, and thanks for your support as well. Cian, hello to you. I'm just signing off here, Cian. What's your thoughts on Ireland's draw, Cian, before we sign off here? Varsågod, Nian. Varsågod. But yeah, so as I was saying, please do keep getting involved in the channel. It means a lot, and as I said, there's a lot of content coming up, so please do comment and let me know your thoughts as always about the about the draw. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining me. But you know what, until next time, you all please do take care, and I'll see you all really soon.